Ready, Life Coach's Bristleback right into the Treant. That's what you like to see.
And he doesn't kill it yet this turn, but Treant, as a green hero, doesn't have too much to avoid that damage. So next turn, Bristleback will be able to use this Barroom Brawler passive to get modified with +2 armor.
Yeah, Bristleback is just a hero killer in this. We're going to deploy the Hellbear Crippler. This is just going to put a little bit of early pressure. And let's check out these other lanes. So we even have Mercenary Exiles for Life Coach on the right lane. But Dane has an axe. This is one of the strongest heroes in the game, and it is rare. So you don't see a lot of people pick it up in draft. And this is just going to eat this Treant. Look at this stat line, 7 to 11.
Yes, and on top of that, what is his signature card?
His signature card is Berserker's Call. Very powerful. You duel 3 units at once. They all deal their battle damage to the red hero you choose, but you're dealing damage to everything. So we can do that off of either Axe or Beastmaster. This is going to be a powerhouse play later on.
Absolutely. We see in this last lane, it's Sven versus Beastmaster here.
Yep. And you could see this Mercenary Exiles being dropped in front of this creep over here. This will kill it in 2 turns, but you could potentially consider saving it for a better deployment as well if you're Life Coach. You're thinking about maybe possibly playing a little more passive for this line.
That's right.
I think I would like to see it deployed here.
I think so too. With the 1 armor that the Mercenary Exiles has by default, it's preventing 1 damage from the 1 extra damage from the creep in front of it.
So it will be able to win this fight in 2 turns. So next turn deployment, we got green heroes on both sides, Farvran for Life Coach and Chen for Dane. We should talk about this hero Chen. This is a very unique hero and artifact. Yeah, we have not seen it yet. He has the ability Holy Persuasion, very powerful, 4-turn cooldown. You get to gain control of an enemy creep. Super strong. And if Life Coach is playing anything big, which of course he does have in the form of something like Ogre Conscript, Chen could steal that if he's not careful. Gotta watch out for that. And Chen's signature card as well is Hand of God, a hugely powerful card at 7 mana. You give everything damage immunity plus a full heal. So that's just great for this just huge board where everything's slamming each other.
Yep. And just a distinction from Dota, that's going to be healing all allies in the lane that he is casting it in.
Very true as well. So here's the Bristleback. He's got the Barroom Brawler ready to go. And this Treant is going to be falling prey to it. But Dane has the opportunity to drop a Roseleaf Druid in front of perhaps this creep over here on the left to at least just develop it for later.
And also prevent some damage onto Chen since that creep was targeting Chen at the beginning. But now that that Roseleaf is going to be drawing aggro from it.
Got Hotbid back here to keep us in check.
Yo, what I miss? What's going on?
This Bristle is going ham, but the juke from Dane is able to...
Oh, what Chen?
Yes.
Is my dad.
It is your dad.
My father.
Ken Chen.
So the juke play on Dane, he still loses the Treant, but he does this so that Bristle doesn't kill it, to deny the Barroom Brawler passive. I really like this play, just because that armor on Bristle coming in early is really powerful.
That's true, and the Roseleafs, he does still have 2 more left, as that is the signature card coming from the Treant Protector.
Yep, so this Treant is, however, falling prey to this axe. We've got the Prowler Vanguard in here, which is just going to start absorbing damage. A very tanky creep, 3 armor between these two, but the Treant goes down and the passive with it.
That's that the White Knight card, just giving the extra armor to the neighboring creeps.
Bit of an unfortunate curve for Lifestone, this Beastmaster. He might have to use the Mercenary Exiles active to save it. Instead, just going to chump block with Rebel Instigator. So he's throwing this away to keep the Mercenary Exiles alive without having to use its active and spend his 9 gold. At this point, 10.
Yep. He's probably looking for some items to begin with, not necessarily going to dump that into the Mercenary Exiles to buff them.
Yep, and he's got a lot of stuff to keep his heroes alive now, which is going to be really important. Snipers deploying on Dane's side, and we'll have the headshot in 1 more turn as well.
So are both these guys 4-1? This is a pretty critical match.
It is.
Absolutely. Whoever loses this match is not out of the running for day 2. It's still technically possible, but the odds steeply drop. This is almost an elimination match. Tidehunter deploying mid. Keep in mind his Ravage ability, one of the most impactful actives in the game, stunning allied neighbors, stun being maybe the strongest status effect, blocking both attacks and spells.
Yep.
So I see Life Coach is running a Farvin. Are there any basic heroes that are better than regular heroes? Or in your opinion, at least.
Certain regular heroes. Yes. Certain regular heroes are not really good, and every color has heroes that are a little bit below basic heroes. But basic heroes are typically a bit below average, I would say. But in the acceptable range.
I think it's situational. Maybe one that comes to mind is Lion, perhaps.
Yeah.
Lion is a black hero, but his signature card's not too great. And Debbie does at least provide the 3 damage.
And here's the cheating death drawn by a life coach. This is a
we about to watch some.
He had this card.
Let's go.
Yes.
Let's go.
Cheating death. He will have to play it on a lane with a green hero, but this is an incredibly powerful card. And unless Dane has a way to remove improvements, he does. He has Raise. If Dane draws it, he can actually counter cheating death with this.
I'm sure life coach knows that, dude.
Yeah.
He's going to place it when there's no red hero.
You could get the drop on me?
Hip fire to gain initiative as well.
Yep. Combat training, unfortunately, doesn't do too much here. You could still use it on Bristle to just kind of set up a little bit of a proactive play. Might just proactively cloak first.
Perhaps better on Sven or Tidehunter there.
Yeah, you would probably want it on Sven more so than the Tidehunter, so there's not too much to do here. I do like it on Sven because then you can use this green mana mid with the Farvran. Ooh, using it on Bristle anyway.
Looks like Life Coach wants to get some damage into this tower. It does put it on a closer clock. If it remains the same in this current state, he'll be able to get the first tower.
He's choosing to play for kind of like the short-term value, which I really love here. I mean, the Sven is just the better target usually, but this 2 damage threatens this this clock for the tower in 2 turns, which is really crucial. Got that cheating death here, but nothing is dying yet, so there's no pressure.
Axe equips a Stonehall Pike, and that's a item that continues getting gains with every round that passes.
Yes.
It's basically going to get +1 attack after the combat phase, every combat phase. So starts off with 2, but going to be compounding, and it's going to make his Berserker's Call that much scarier.
Yeah, usually if you see Stonehall in a card's name, it means it's going to get stronger after the combat phase if it survives. So this axe is going to be scary, and keep in mind, when you combo that with Berserker's Call, which we'll have as soon as next turn at the 6-mana turn, you will have something that can duel and deal 10 damage to all of its allied neighbors, which is crazy. So a very passive right lane that neither player is really committing for.
Yep.
And we are hitting the ramp turns where Dane is like looking at a very good hand. The 2 Berserker's Calls, the Primal Roars, double Assassinates. It's kind of up to Life Coach to close this game out, right? Right now, Life Coach is kind of the aggressor.
He has double Assassinate, but he only has 1 black hero.
Yes.
So if he is able to kill that sniper, or, he can only cast 1 anyway.
Yes.
So
very crucial. But at the same time, the sniper has a hard time going down. Presumably, Dane will buy something like a Traveler's Cloak with his 5 gold. Can't see that yet. But either way, there's nothing that really stops it here on Life Coach's hand. He needs to probably draw some more proactive plays here.
Yep, right now he only has 2 cards. Ogre
the train
Conscript
can
and
just
Cheating Death.
drop right in front of him, right?
Well, it potentially could on the 1 and 3. But still only works if Dane doesn't buy a health item.
Treant's not going to land in front of Sniper, so looks safer now. Let's see what Life Coach ends up drawing.
Yep, Bronze Legionnaire. Not necessarily what you want. You want something heavier.
2 creeps.
Yep, that's not bad. Life Coach has this left tower down. I mean, that's pretty much going to be happening. Dane might be able to stall it 1 more turn. Left tower is not the concern. The concern is you look at this rest of the board. Life Coach needs another tower here, and he needs it sooner rather than later. If you look at Dane's hand, it's very scary.
Yep.
Especially like this Hand of God coming down on mid, something like next turn. Oof.
Gotta say, Dane's draft looks pretty decent.
Intense.
Pretty strong.
Very intense. Axe is like...
Splashing that 1 black hero for Assassinate.
Yeah. We were talking with Joel earlier, that Sniper is just one of the best splash heroes because, he's good on the round 3 deployment, and even though he's squishy, he does a decent job keeping himself alive just with, headshot.
So let's talk about Cheat Death. What does it do?
Yeah, let's go look at it.
So Cheat Death just got played. There's no answer. So if this Farvran is on the lane, every unit on Life Coach's side here has a 50% chance of just surviving at 1 health when it would otherwise die to any effect, including, auto kill effects. Yeah. This is an insanely powerful, my board is going to win against your board effect.
It's a very expensive improvement.
Yes.
Costs 5.
And it's unreliable since it's only 50%.
Yeah, you could also, if you remove the green hero somehow, like with Intimidate or whatever,
yes,
then it doesn't do anything.
Yeah, that makes it pretty scary for Sniper if he casts Assassinate here into the right lane to maybe kill off Farven.
But even then, it's a 50-50 to even shut down the Cheating Death.
He might still survive.
Exactly. It's kind of a catch-22 trying to deal with this card, because the way to disable it is to kill the green hero, but Cheating Death protects the green hero.
Yep.
Yeah.
He does have Berserker's Call, and I believe Life Coach was playing around that. He equipped the Traveler's Cloak onto Farven, and now the 10 damage from Axe is not going to kill him.
Life Coach very cognizant of what Axe represents. This card is very, very powerful, especially in Constructed Ladder.
I mean, cheat death 50% of the time, it works every time.
Yes. So the biggest question is, will Life Coach be pushing mid or right? And the answer, I think, is he's probably going to have to push mid. This is the cheat death lane. You've got to kind of fight for this one, so we're going to go all in. Bronze Legionnaire. Ooh.
Gets the arrow over. Kills off the creep.
Yeah.
It's good.
Yeah, very good.
Yeah.
You do want this creep to die. So Dane has the opportunity to play Berserker's Call here. Keep in mind, Axe has 4 armor. His natural 2 plus the Treant Aura.
He takes nothing. Yeah.
So this Axe can Berserker's Call right now, deal 10 damage to this, deal 8 damage to this, kill this, and take no damage himself, and still have the second call next turn to wipe everything.
Gonna do it.
So keep in mind.
All right, here we go.
As you can see there, that X is not a red X like that creep one.
Exactly.
It's a white one. It's a question as to whether he will die in the combat phase.
Do you think he tries to save it with the cloak and heal, or do you think he lets it go into cheat death 50-50?
Well, the healing salve will actually keep it out of the range of necessitating
Mm-hmm.
cloak. So I think you drop the salve here. Don't take the risk, because this is the turn next turn where it's going to have Ravage. And this, therefore, this mid lane next turn, initiative is going to really matter. Because if Dane plays first, Berserker's Call potentially kills both of these, because this Stone Hall will buff Axe up to 11.
Well, don't you want to put the cloak on in case of Assassinate? Is that...
Potentially. At the same time, Assassinate does just a bit too much damage. And this has the chance to dodge it with Cheating Death anyway.
And the good thing about Ravage for Tidehunter is that there are 2 heroes in front of him as his neighbors, and so the Ravage is going to reliably stun those with a 50% chance on the other units in that lane.
I love this Mercenary Exiles active here, just keeping this card alive, putting out a little pressure on this lane. While neither player has committed for this lane, you might see the Augur Conscript. I love this. This kind of gives this lane some potential. So even if Dane can stall out mid, right is a push potential.
All those X's and none on your side feels good.
And he also drew the aggro away from Sven. Beastmaster was originally killing him. And now that he's placed the Ogre Conscript in front, he will be hurting that Beastmaster. But as you can see, Dane healed him up, so no longer going to die.
However, we see the weaken effect on the Loyal Beast there, targeting the Sven, reducing his attack permanently by 1.
Yep, so he's at 4 now, and his cleave's only doing 2.
And it is time for the 4 turn cooldown actives, namely Chen's Holy Persuasion, as well as Tidehunter's Ravage on the middle lane.
I never played Chen in Dota, but this is a lot easier. You just click a button.
No micro
Yeah,
required.
no micro needed.
Yep. 16 damage to the tower. Not much you can do.
You just let the
here.
sniper
You
die
just
here, right?
Let it go, right?
Yep, presumably.
Do we have some assassinate targets?
Yeah, there's pretty powerful assassinate targets here. If you want to try to 50-50 this Farvran, you can potentially try to disable Cheating Death. You don't have initiative, which means you are scared of this Ravage.
Or potentially,
You kill the Tide, right?
You
try
could,
to.
Yeah, you could kill the Tide. It might be better since you don't have initiative here anyway. Life Coach very aware of what he's doing, taking the pass here.
Yeah.
Life Coach
He's
is
not
always
going
going
to
to
play
pass.
any of these cards.
Exactly. This Ravage coming down on the first play in this lane will stun the Axe and the Treant out of being able to play any spells.
Gonna steal a creep over. Puts that Chen active ability back on cooldown. Assassinate going onto the Bristle here.
Wait, he's going to try and fight
he's
here.
Save or try to save this lane.
Interesting. I actually...
Doable.
I like this play. I think he
great.
needs to do this. Normally, this would be pretty awkward, but you just can't fight for the mid. This Ravage is here. It's happening right now.
It doesn't hit any of the
Doesn't
creeps.
hit the creeps, but...
Creeps don't matter that much. They're only
No
taking
big deal.
1,
Mm-hmm.
doing 1.
Yep. So these heroes are locked out for a turn. At the same time, there's not a lot for Life Coach to do here. You can develop the Ogre
You gotta
Corpse
goo
Tosser.
it, dude.
Yep. Not
It's not
a
enough
good
to
hand
kill it.
here. It's gonna put the viscous nasal goo onto the axe. That reduces Axe's armor by 2.
Yep.
So now he's at 11-2-7. And then also going to buff up Tide with the combat training to give him +2 attack.
So what this accomplishes at the very least is when Axe goes to do the Berserker's Call next turn, he will at least die by doing that.
That's true.
So
And their heroes might not die because of cheat death.
Exactly. Yeah, cheat death, very, very powerful. And Life Coach has pressure right. This is kind of like Life Coach's... Ooh. Sven going left.
Interesting.
That-
So
Is
Primal
that
Roar.
good for Life Coach?
It might be. It might
be good.
I mean, at this point, Life Coach kind of needed to be able to fight for left. Life Coach
Yeah.
might be able to dip out of the right lane now
I
and
think-
just push left and
I
mid.
mean, his right lane was still only at 33. Like, did he need to roar there? I don't know.
I'm not sure. It might have been a misplay.
Well, he doesn't know where the heroes are going to go. I don't want to.
Yeah, of course.
Soul Spring, a
very
great
powerful
card.
draw. This plus defensive bloom in 1 turn will give 3 different units 8 regen. Extremely powerful since Soul of Spring triggers on itself.
Yep, it looks like, though, this lane still doesn't have the lethal potential for the tower. You've got the Ogre Corpse Tower, but that Tosser, that only does 2 attack. So he's going to use Soul of Spring here. And the card itself actually already procs the effect.
Yes.
So if we look at that, everything's already getting that extra regen.
So you could see the defensive bloom here. There's not necessarily too much of a purpose for it. It's really between this and mid lane. And mid lane is kind of more what you're fighting for. Because you only need to be able to punch through 3 here, which is kind of inevitable.
Yes.
Might see an assassinate by Dane. It needs to be able to clear this
Right.
Farfran. He needs to 50-50 and take off this
All
2
right.
health.
We got to see it.
That
Let's
might
see
be what
it.
this comes to.
He's
He does have
thinking
2
about-
in hand.
It's going to be funny. I can't wait. Please.
If he can snipe this Farfran, he disables the Cheating Death from being able to protect the Tidehunter, the Mercenary Exiles, and the Prowler. There's the Hand
Nope.
of God.
Okay.
Fighting for this lane still, even at 3 health.
Doesn't want to submit his entire game plan into a cheat death.
Into,
So,
potential
you know,
50-50.
cheat death, not just something that has an effect, it also changes your opponent's strategy. It puts the fear into them,
Yeah.
you know? They don't want to risk it.
Spend
Exactly.
7 mana, do nothing.
And I love Life
Yeah.
Coach's pressure play, just dealing damage to this axe. So now this Berserker's Call could be a suicide. It might not even kill any of these 3 units.
You're going to do it. Come on. You have to try this. You have 2 Berserkers Call. You have Axe. Yeah.
It kills the
Oh,
Farfran.
okay.
Tide is alive.
Cheating Death disabled, at least, for the time being. Cheating Death is out of commission for effectively 2 turns, unless Life Coaching can figure out a way to put Treant mid. That's a big deal.
I'll bring death to the
I'd love to see a Vul Martyr here. This is kind of the dream scenario for Vul Martyr. It's usually kind of hard to have this creep die, but under these circumstances, you can kind of like, ooh, he's passing for initiative instead of playing it.
Oh, no Wool here.
So he really wants the initiative on right lane for the assassinate potentially from Sniper. I love this play. Killing the Treant and denying both of its 2 powerful auras.
Yep, and it's probably not that important at this point anyways for
Beastmaster dies to a
Dane to
creep.
kill
Feels bad.
Tide.
Yeah.
So we got
I-
Bristle coming in.
I gotta say, I love the position Dane's in right now. He's actually managed to defend this left lane very well.
Yep.
He assassinate off of initiative, killing Treant immediately, and then he's even got the headshot to kill the Sven. The Traveler's Cloak will not get the Sven out of headshot range.
Yeah, and this results in Life Coach even thinking of putting that Bristle into the first lane just to
Exactly.
get that pesky amount of damage left over.
Managing to defend this 3 health tower.
Yep.
He's got a TP, though.
Is true.
Does have a TP. Dane's also picked up a golden ticket.
I think the, you know, if you know your guys, one of them's going to die, you can at least TP out the other one, right?
Yep.
One of the awkward things here is Dane is locked out of his red cards for 2 more turns, or 1 more full turn at least, because these
Look,
red heroes are not
saving
deploying.
that Vul Martyr comes in handy, huh?
Oh, absolutely.
Mhm.
Very, very handy, especially off the initiative. Deciding to play for this
Oh,
assassinate.
yes.
Let's see it.
A lot of options for this intimidation,
You
actually.
gotta start with this assassinate for sure.
Oh.
Whoa!
Does the headshot over to Sven.
Headshots. Playing around red options here. But still the Bristle can cast. Intimidation could be kind of scary. It could punish the headshot before the Assassinate here.
Yep. It's whether Life Coach knows he needs to do this, I guess, is the biggest question.
Oh.
Passes for initiative.
Passes.
Wants to see what happens.
The one thing about Assassination is you are not defending
What's
this
it
tower.
gonna be? Poaching
Knife.
Whatever.
It's a bit of a slow item that just increases your gold gain. Not really what you want.
Does
here.
kill the creep.
Yes.
If he puts it on the sniper, it does enough damage to
Go through the armor.
go through the armor.
If you do want to defend this tower, you will need to play a Disciple in front of the Bristleback.
Or the Martyr, right?
Or the Martyr.
I'll
Yeah.
give my
But he's still
life.
floating on the Assassination. It looks like he's saving it. Even though he has got
Do you think Life Coach uses Intimidation here?
He has the opportunity here. I do think so.
Mm-hmm.
Kill
It's
the
pretty.
tower.
You can use it on the Sniper as well.
You could use it on the sniper and then TP out, right? That's.
Yes.
Yep. The creeps would then push for lethal.
But the thing is, he doesn't know that there are no green creeps left in his hand.
Well, there is.
Mm-hmm.
There's actually Roseleaf Rejuvenator. So
Oh,
if he,
that's right,
he's
yeah.
intimidating Sniper. It goes right. The Roseleaf will come in. It will block and heal for 7. This tower is staying alive.
Yeah.
Uh-oh.
Roseleaf will have to come out to the right
And
of Chen.
that Vul Martyr, too, is going to be buffing up the creeps as it dies.
And this tower is never
Not
dying.
great.
From
This
3
is
to
bad
10.
for our boy Life Coach.
This is going to be a long game, though. Life Coach still has Farvan
he's-
coming back mid to enable Cheating Death next turn.
Life Coach very healthy on every tower, so
Yep. All
it's
in
going
the
to take a
30s.
while.
Both players playing the defensive game very well here.
I think this game might actually go long enough that Dane just runs out of his power cards.
Mhm.
He's used
Yeah.
2 calls. He's going to eventually use those Assassinates. It's whether he can actually kill Life Coach, even
Yeah.
using those spells, right?
I mean, the Sniper right now is kind of in his dream location. His headshot's on cooldown anyway, and he can just cast Assassinate safely from this empty lane.
We might see a double Ravage.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, yeah.
That's-
Very rare to see
yeah.
that cooldown happen twice.
Although, not much going on in that lane right now.
Assassinate on Bristle. There
Yep.
it is. Bristle going down.
So, now Life Coach doesn't have access to any red cards should he... Well, sorry. He does have the Tide in the mid lane.
Yep. And Life Coach just run out of his hand. He's going to need to rely on his top decks that he can play here.
Yep.
But he has Dane on the defensive. I mean, Dane's left tower is at 8. His mid is at 12. And, oh, man, a Berserker's Call would clean up this left lane.
Do you like Farvan still going mid?
Yes. Enabling the cheating
Enabling
death
the cheating
is
death.
very important.
Mm-hmm.
Because this lane is still securable.
How is Life Coach going to kill the left lane? He has to kill 2 lanes to win.
Mm-hmm.
He probably doesn't have enough time to 80 the middle lane. So where is he going to get a second tower?
It's got to be off the back of this double deploy. He's
Yeah.
probably not going to do it this turn, but the Sven and the Bristle both going left. Ooh.
So Farvan going
changing
to
it
the
up.
left.
Yeah. He's playing
But
for the...
he's thinking
Thinking
about
about
it.
it.
He's
He's
thinking
looking
about
at it. Mainly because I'm looking at that mid tower, and it seems like 2 creeps coming in. It's going to push.
This is a pure guessing game. If he knew Dane was committing nothing, he calls it. He
Yeah.
knows Dane's not defending that mid tower, and he can see that. So he is just basically mind gaming him, putting the Farvan left. I actually love this.
All right. A lot of options for Dane, though. He's got the
He's got a lot of cards.
Divine Intervention, right?
Yes, and this is a
can-
scary Berserker's Call as well, dealing 12 damage to
Oh.
Tree, Farvan, and to this creep.
And look at Life Coach's hand. He really wants some card draw right now, but he only has 2 red cards, which are
Flying
only going to
around
be
the Berserker's
relevant
Call again.
in the mid lane.
Pulls it out of Berserker's Call range.
Primal Roar on
Yeah.
the side of
Roar.
Dane. These green heroes are
It's like,
out of
get
here.
out of my first lane. Devoted so many resources to protecting it.
This 8 health tower is still not dying.
Yeah. Now it also looks extremely unattractive to even when you're placing a Sven and Bristle in here. It doesn't look like they're going to break through even if you put them there.
So Life Coach has this mid tower, but
Where did Farvan go? Into the last lane.
yes. The punch
feel
there
like
is
this
just
is
not
a-
there. I think you're right. I think Life Coach just won't be able to take left.
Do you feel this is a TP that tied out?
I feel like that's the case.
I think so. I mean,
Yeah.
Ravage is going to be up next turn. And you've got this tower without it.
Yeah,
You've got
I mean,
to
this
TP the
tower's going to
Tide.
die almost regardless of whether the Tide ravages or whatever. So I feel like you got to TP him out.
Yep.
And now he can deploy 3 with a Ravage coming in, right?
Yes.
And now Dane has to think about if he wants to cast any of his spells in that last lane, because initiative will be going to Life Coach should he choose to deploy the Tidehunter in the first
Oh, he
lane.
TPs both out.
I don't want to be here. This is going to push.
4 heroes coming in, okay.
And getting the lethal on the Ogre Corpse Toss.
Yo, so can I just say, there is a real option. He could place all 4 heroes mid,
Oh, really?
right?
I think you got to fight for left. You think so?
What are those?
Is it possible
what is
for
the
him to do
attack for
80?
everyone at?
Like, what does he have in his deck?
He-
Is it possible for him to do 80 to
He
the tower
definitely
in one
could
turn?
do 80, but not in one
Hit that
turn.
F2. Match that F2.
It's probably 2 turns. It's got some God Strength.
It's got to be more important to
Yeah,
defend
I
left.
think he's probably going to end up splitting his heroes. At least he kills off the sniper over here.
Dude, if these creeps don't deploy, if none of them go mid,
I
can he do it in one turn?
This is a really crucial deployment. I actually like quad deploy right. Specifically, look at left. I mean, it's the tower that has 8, but the axe is there.
Well,
the
the 2
treant
creeps.
is there,
There's 2 creeps, right?
and the holy persuasion.
Yeah.
Thinking about
He wants-
left,
He's doing it.
playing into the holy persuasion and the axe.
So Dane does have initiative.
Yeah, but that Tide is not dying.
That's
Not-
true.
The only thing he can do is, if he has hand and he has divine.
That tide is exactly where it wants to be. The ravage is going to stun both of them.
Yeah, but he's gonna be able to cast his.
Berserker's Call is going to
No,
kill.
he's gonna cast Hand of God right away.
Yeah, he has to hand of
that's
God
true.
first.
Yeah, this is a.
Hand of God, and then Ravage comes in.
So Hand of God heals all your heroes and makes them, or all your units and makes them invincible.
Yeah. Actually, do you even Ravage if he Hand of Gods?
Probably not in this
yeah,
case.
because
so.
he'll only have 4 effective mana left.
You can also take initiative back with Kraken Shell, so.
You have to rely on a very good ravage next turn. Luckily for Life Coach, this Tidehunter is not dying. Not yet, anyway.
Divine Intervention.
Will only grow.
Berserker's Call on top of that is extremely scary.
He could consider equipping a Furline Mantle onto Sven right now to save him from a Berserker's Call.
Traveler's Cloak as well. This is actually really crucial item targeting because you need to save your Tidehunter from the combination of Call and this tree's attack. And you want to save the Sven from the Call as well. Fur Mantle on the Sven for +8 health. If you're Life Coach, you know that the second Call is there. He's been
Yeah.
playing around it all game perfectly. But the Call will still have to drop. You've got to threaten. You've got to take this Tidehunter
It also
down.
threatens the tree, right?
Yes.
Ooh.
So you like killing
Or
mutants
Conscript
too,
comes down.
Max?
Okay, guess not.
Chen also has the ability to take a creep. Or the Roseleaf Wall, I suppose. But he's going to draw a card first.
Oh, Thunderhide pack. Okay.
Jen's
boy.
saving his ability here.
Mhm.
I guess he's thinking like maybe he puts down the Thunderhide pack and then he'll steal whatever Life Coach uses to block, maybe.
At the same time, initiative is in the hands of Life Coach. We have the double deploy on Dane. These two heroes, Chen and Axe, are going to get stunned right off, so it comes down to Dane's ability.
You
to
see
deploy
9
these
heroes
two.
in one lane or some crazy.
Yeah, you know what? I would have been very interested to see what would have been the case with 4 heroes in this lane. 33 health. Looking pretty grim. I suppose it is a lost lane for Life Coach with him only at 9 health for his tower.
It's going to come down to this Ravage. If Dane deploys double left, this Ravage has a 50% chance of stunning either the tree or the sniper or both.
Mm-hmm. And Life Coach does have initiative.
Sniper going right, tree going left. Dane needs to rely on this tree not getting stunned.
All right, here it is.
But Life Coach is still going to need to get a draw to be able to punch through even after the Ravage stun. He needs something that can kill something so that he can deal 8 to tower.
Spraying the trap.
That's a good draw.
That's
Great
good.
card.
It's not going to do
Alright.
enough on this lane, though.
Yours.
There's
gonna
the
go ahead
Ravage.
and Ravage.
Doesn't hit it. Didn't hit
Does
it.
not hit the tree. So we still have green plays on Dane. We've got the Hand of God. We've got the Thunderhide pack.
Thunderhide.
Yeah, pushing in for that damage in the first lane. That's going to be pretty scary.
Holy Persuasion is locked out here. And there's the Hand of God.
Alright.
Just putting up this iron wall here. This 8 damage is just not going to be had. So if you're life coach, where do you spring the trap? Do you just start playing for right now?
I still think he should have 4-hero mid try 80 to die.
I mean, this 80 might still happen. This lane is still inevitable. The Stonehall Leech is actually growing off this creep. These creeps might just take mid on their own while both players are just defending left and right.
Yeah, do you even spring the trap here?
I think spring the trap might be necessary, right? But this lane might also be indefensible. This is a really tricky spring the trap.
Yeah, especially with you don't want that in the first lane with Chen being able to take one. He's gonna put the Rose Leaf. Maybe this is a bait. Please take this.
Okay.
Got the Kraken Shell to take back initiative.
Mm-hmm.
And you need to hope you draw into something to do with the initiative.
What does he have that you can draw into?
Big initiative plays here. You have nothing
Divine
really
Intervention
major.
is pretty clutch.
Keeps your stuff alive, but if you're a life coach, you might need more than that. I mean, maybe
Yeah,
life
he
coach's
doesn't-
win condition is
He
just
doesn't know
attrition.
that he has another Hand of God.
Yeah.
Yeah.
A gift from the deep.
The problem here is that the instant that Axe becomes unstunned, he's going to be able to roar.
Yes.
And it's going to be a problem.
This lane's still not dying yet for Life Coach, but he's
There it
gonna.
goes. We've got Assassinate, or we've got the pass for initiative on Dane.
Mm-hmm.
He can assassinate something like the Bristle, but initiative may be more important. He
This
doesn't
is,
know what life coach's hand is.
This is a rough situation for Life Coach.
Yeah.
I think he's 14 seconds left.
Yeah.
Oh,
Both
Not a
players
lot
at
of
the end of the
options.
ropes, literally.
Yeah.
No one is beyond my reach.
Assassinate goes out to the
Taking out the
Bristle.
Bristle. This just gives him pure push. And you can see the power of Hand of God here, just like keeping this huge wall of stats alive.
That's my dad,
and
you know.
healthy.
Just amazing spell late game.
And the gank also coming out.
It's just going to clean up the Centaur.
Mm-hmm.
The double purpose of
So you need some kind of draw if you're life coach here, but his deck it's very proactive. It's not really going to be able to retake a board. It doesn't have like board clear spells or anything like that. He has the initiative. What could he draw here? Because he needs to be able to just, at this point, just keep defending until his mid lane takes it. That's what he
right,
has
yeah.
to do. He has no punch through. This Chen's active is going to be very scary. It will steal this 4/8 Centaur, putting out extra pressure. Now it's up to Dane to end this
all
game
right,
on
two
the clock.
creeps. That's fine. 2 creeps is good.
Yep, especially with that Thunderhide
The
pack
Thunderhide's coming down.
potentially coming down.
But it's if he waits him out. Like if he waits for Life Coach to use his mana, then he plays his Thunderhide. Then Life Coach is really in trouble.
Ready to fight.
Training on this fan.
Okay.
Third Hand of God.
Another Hand of God. So still no Thunderhide this turn.
We still have Berserker's Call on this axe. If he wants to. Chank the Chen active. Berserker's Call on this axe is scary. It is damage immune right now. It will just clear off 2 heroes immediately and deal 12 to this Fen. Bellowing the Rose Leaf, pushing extra damage.
No thanks.
Goes into probably the least favorable lane for Life
I have a
Coach.
For
question.
the glory of
If he
Stonehall.
stole the Rose Leaf, or sorry, the
By
Druid,
helping myself,
couldn't he
I'm
have roared?
helping all of us. Your
If he stole the
loyalty
Rose Leaf,
yeah, if he stole like the creep that gives you a
Yeah,
mana,
Yes.
he would have
couldn't
had one more mana, yes.
That might have been enough to actually kill him.
It might have been. This is really tough for Life Coach. I mean, he
Yeah.
can take mid in
Ooh.
2
Oh.
turns.
jungle
Blink
saint.
Keeps
dagger.
getting worse, and it's got the CD with the boar. Yikes!
yeah, this looks pretty tough for Life Coach. I don't think there's anything in his deck that he could draw.
Have you ever seen
salvage
someone
it.
lose a lane harder with all 5 of his heroes in the lane?
3 divine interventions, man. And what was the other one too? Oh, sorry. 1 divine interventions, 3 healing Hand of Gods.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Just the wall.
An insane defense by Dane.
It's a really good
protecting a 3
gank
health
too.
tower.
Kills
Yeah.
the sniper, kills something else. So the sniper can redeploy if it even goes another turn.
Yeah, I have a feeling we might be looking at the last one here in the first lane. Bristle has to go there to be an extra body to potentially defend against it, but 6 damage is all that's needed.
Yeah, bad arrows for Life Coach. This looks like
This looks like it's
GG.
it. There's just no draw here that bails him out of this, and even so, he needs to buy 2 turns. Divine Intervention would have been good a few turns ago.
Yeah.
Okay. Tough one. Is Life Coach a let you press the button guy, or is he oh, he's a concede guy. He's a concede guy.
So Life Coach is going to drop a game
Uh-oh.
against Dane. Yep.
Allocated and tried to do 80 on mid. Maybe he could have won. Obviously, I don't know better than Life Coach, so maybe he had some other calculation that he was doing that I didn't know. But
It's an extremely skill-rewarding matchup. There's just a ton of micro decisions on both sides coming out.
this is
every turn.
Morpheus fighting Neil in the mid lane right here.
Yep.
That's Axe versus Bristleback. The ultimate man fight.
Of course, if Bristle dies at the same time as him killing Axe, he's not going to get that Barroom
Yes,
Brawler
correct.
passive.
But see if there's any way to have this Bristle or Axe survive.
Yeah.
It's gonna
Doesn't look
be
like it right now.
Really
but
tough for a Life Coach. He will have to draw something that keeps it alive. Soul of Spring specifically, but without drawing that, he might not be able to keep the Bristle alive. Would be an amazing top deck for Life
Tree
Coach.
fight in the left lane. That creep is doing well.
You know what that last game showed, though? It was a testament as to how you can still win against cheating death.
Yes.
Everyone's been wringing their hands about how cheating death is
Do you Volmarta here?
ridiculous.
You've got a great Volmarta here as well as mid. Typically, you kind of want to play this card to chump.
You doing it? Yeah, there you go.
Yeah.
Because when it dies, you at least permanently buff the rest of your lane a little bit.
Yeah, everything's feels good.
Yep. You can still slap down either a Prowler Vanguard, maybe a Bloom here.
Do
I'd
you
love to
keep-
see a Prowler to
Do
keep
you
this creep
keep
alive.
the Axe alive with your juke or not?
Tell us what you need, Sean.
That's a good question. I kind of like
Nope.
taking this trade here. The Bristle's kind of scarier in the early game.
Yeah.
This Beastmaster is going down. That's
Yep,
something you're
nothing to
happy to
save
see
him.
if you're Life Coach. At least this right lane is looking pretty good.
Joined on the couch by Yol. Yol, did you win?
Yes.
So what are you, 6-0 now?
Yes.
Wow.
So have you made that's a
Yeah,
top 8?
that's a-
Congratulations.
Top
Yeah.
8 locked in. Yep.
Congratulations.
Thank you very much.
You didn't fly all the way from Sweden for nothing.
You didn't
Exactly.
miss the circuit for nothing.
Good
yeah.
job.
Exactly. Yeah, the pro tour.
Well
yeah.
done.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you.
Well, we have at least one
Feels
player in the
good.
top 8.
Yeah.
Hoping for more. Life Coach having a bit of trouble in this game. He's
He's down 0-1.
yeah,
He needs
4-1
to win
right
these
now,
next
down
2 for the
0-1.
series.
So
Yeah, he said his opponent deck was pretty good.
Yeah, Dane's deck is great. He's got some great late game with Beastmaster and Sniper.
yeah, the Chen
Multiple Ogre conscripts too.
the
Pretty
Chen
good.
really makes it hard on him.
Yeah.
You can't break through. Last
So good in the green-red mirror too.
yeah.
Like the controllability and
Because you have
also
no
the
way
7
of
drop.
killing something that has invulnerability.
Yeah.
I think last game he cast Hand of God 2 or 3 straight turns,
Yep.
and it's just
Divine Intervention into Two Hand of Gods.
you just can't win.
Yeah.
But he did
Yeah,
play very well.
Having something like Tidehunter is also pretty terrible in this matchup. Like, because it's so much about going bigger than your opponent and having like grinded Tidehunter.
You need like a
doesn't
time of
really help.
triumph or you know.
Yeah, or like big spells overall. You need high attack, etc. Like, Tidehunter is pretty good at stalling the game, getting initiative in this like against black decks and blue decks alike. For your blue deck also, but I feel like it's not very impactful when your opponent's just playing only big stuff, you know.
Casts his Divine Intervention.
Bit of an aggressive Divine Intervention, just trying to keep everything healthy. I think Life Coach is kind of definitely the aggressor in this matchup. Like
He
he's-
wants to end the game
Yes.
because he knows that this other guy's got 3 Hand of God,
Yeah.
3 Assassinate, 3 Primal Roar. He's got a bunch of late game spells that can really mess him up.
longer this game goes on, the worse it is for
Yeah.
Life Coach.
Yep.
Also has axe. It's pretty big.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And multiple like Ogre conscripts, double gank, which it's not great with Sniper, but if the game goes really long, Sniper might be big enough to make that really dangerous.
Yeah, we did see that in the last game, and Assassinate too. Just very scary big cards for Dane.
always strike first.
Yep. Stun going down and initiative going Dane's way.
It's a really big hip fire, helping to kind of reclaim this lane, stopping the Bronze Legionnaire from coming out.
Yeah.
I think if you feel that your opponent's deck is a lot stronger than yours, do you feel that you can sometimes take more risks, try and go 80 on one lane, try and surprise them?
Yeah. I think
Maybe
so.
sacrifice lanes a little more aggressively, yeah.
Yeah, I agree. What Swim said. You kind of just have to.
I mean, you can win with an inferior deck if you strand 2 units, right?
Mm-hmm.
That's going to be a large part of your win condition. But Life Coach's Bristle Right is not representing that here.
He wants to kill the sniper, right? Let's see.
He's
Yeah,
going for
Life
it.
Coach Heroes. Neither of them has really any late game potential. It's only like some kind of Sven carry that could maybe sweep some stuff, you know. But without, like, his spell is, I don't know.
So at least this lane's going well.
Yeah. It's good on Tide at least.
You kind of want the Tide strategy is like, you want the Tide in the lane that you're losing, because maybe the Tide can help you delay.
Mm-hmm.
Would
You
you
don't-
Fountain Flask the Satyr here?
It's a tough call. I really like using Fountain Flask on Satyr, but he might also wait so Life Coach spends his mana first,
Mm-hmm.
so he can't do anything obnoxious like Nasal Goo or something.
Yeah. Tyrant is also extra good when you're playing fewer red heroes, so you will always have a stable base to play your spells. But when you have 3 pretty big red heroes, its value goes down a lot, I feel like.
Ooh,
Okay.
letting the
Pass.
Satyr die.
Wow, look at that.
Got the flask for the Chen.
It's like the Clint Eastwood, you know, the bad, the worst. What is that movie called?
Good, bad, and ugly.
Yeah. Nobody moving.
Yep.
I'll take care of you.
Man, Axe is just so good.
Axe is
My
incredible.
work must continue.
Yeah, defensive bloom is really just not what you want right now for your Life Coach, because you need to try to be aggressive and end the game out.
Yeah.
So do you shoot yourself?
Well,
Prevent that armor, you know.
We'll,
Still gets the
we'll
armor.
actually
Still
get the
gets-
armor.
yeah.
still gets it.
'Cause
Okay,
we'll
so
also
don't
need
shoot
to
yourself.
attack the hero.
It's bad advice.
Next level, next level. Don't shoot
Yeah.
yourself. Yeah, I wonder what should be done here.
You're in my sight.
Yeah, take down one of the creeps. The one in front of the melee one, so at least saves that from dying if another should spawn there.
Yeah, and if you're Dane, there's no reason not to drop an Ogre or a Gank if you don't want to commit the Ogre. You can
Yeah.
at least take out another
Does
creep
Gank
with
do
you.
anything in like the first lane, for example?
I don't think it does anything incredible.
can get
You could
trios,
trade
right?
with something. You are taking 8 to your tower here then, though. I think I'd rather see this sniper try to chump the 8.
For the glory of Stonewall.
Because if you're
Ogre
Dane,
second.
you know you just have to play defensive.
Legion has
That's kind of your
arrived.
game plan in this matchup.
Yep. These ganks are. It's a really good card, but Sniper is not its
Yeah.
best friend, you know. It's fantastic with something like Phantom Assassin or maybe even Bounty Hunter if you buff it a bit on its HP, but
And we just see the same thing happening as last game. Dane's just putting up a wall of units on all the lanes. I mean, Life Coach
Oh.
kind of, again, has control over left, but even so, there's not a lot of pressure. Still at 34.
yeah, it's really scary when now that Dane comes up onto 7 mana, which is kind of where he usually turns the game. Or I assume that's his game plan.
Just chumps the Hellbear.
Yeah.
Interesting.
Will at least make this Ogre a little weaker.
Do you agree with the chump?
I don't like it personally.
I don't
Yeah.
really like it, but at the same time, there's not really a
What's he
lot
gonna do,
can
you
do
know?
with that. Yeah.
Yeah.
I would probably play it in the first lane maybe.
to at least
Start
get
to
some
push.
damage, right?
Yeah, you gotta trade damage.
I feel like
You got-
Life Coach is kind of running into the same issue that he had last game where he just had no cards, really.
Yeah, it happens often with
Yeah.
red green.
Mm-hmm.
You don't really have card draw.
Yeah.
You
Your
need
cards
cards
are-
like Omix Arena and push towards that lane to
Mhm.
get some kind of velocity going.
Yeah, because all your plays are proactive. You're not really capitalizing on situations so much that you do kind of just run out of steam.
Yeah, these red-green versus red-green matchups seem to be a lot of attrition. We're sitting there seeing who can buff the most creeps, who can kind of wear the other team guy down.
And going bigger.
And
especially.
Chen seems like the ultimate kind of
Yeah.
late game matchup nightmare where he can steal your Thunderhides, he He can steal your conscripts. You can't, and if he never uses it, you can never play it. It's not even
Yeah.
like you can.
Oh, this Sven going here is it's a ballsy move.
Yeah.
If there's one hand of God, that lane is just. I think the game is over.
He doesn't draw it, thankfully.
Well, Armed Rebellion is not bad either.
Yeah.
When there's like what 5 creeps or something in that lane.
Yeah, at least compared to the last game when Dane had drawn 3 Berserker's Calls and his Assassinates.
Yeah.
But as we said, the later the game goes.
This is the you intimidate your own Tide. He goes mid. He stuns everything.
Taking the Ravage here, not hitting the stun on Treants. Ends up not doing
rough,
very
yeah.
much.
Very bad.
Yeah, that's a rough play. I mean, it kind of goes to what you were saying before about, you know, being behind in a worse matchup. You got to take risks, but at the same time,
Yeah.
it didn't pay off in this case.
This intimidation is. Ooh, I wished he would have gone for Kraken Shell to get initiative to intimidate this
Only
Shen.
the strongest will
Because
be spared.
if Shen casts Hand of God here, the game is over. Now Dane doesn't have it, but
Arm is
It's-
very powerful.
still gets to use the ability of Shen before he goes down.
Yep.
Yep.
So
And
Well-
next action, we've got Arm the Rebellion to buff
Trust
all of these
the
creeps.
knights of the fold.
yeah,
That is huge.
it's possible that if Shen changes lane, that life coach just won't win that lane either. So maybe intimidating it isn't really what you want to do.
Ooh, there's the roar coming down.
This is super rough.
Yeah.
Yikes.
Yeah.
That's the right word for it.
And Life Coach has his back against the wall. He is not really doing well on board or in
So
hand.
his right tower is pretty healthy. He has a Bristleback in the lane, so maybe he can take this lane.
Yep.
you know?
I mean, all he needs is 8 more damage on top of this 12 next turn. That's gotta be how
I mean,
he
the
does
sniper's probably deploying potentially first, and then he'll assassinate right, maybe? If he has enough. No, I guess the
Well,
Bristleback is too much
Bristle's
health.
yeah.
Seems like life coach held the Helm of the Dominator, which I like.
Yes, that's kind of his win condition at this point, trying to buy Helm, and hope Dane plays into it. Dane does have a Thunderhide pack. If you can do something like steal that, you could maybe turn the game around.
Yeah.
Dane seems like good enough to notice when he spends 19 gold.
Oh, yes.
So.
Yeah.
I do like Life Coach playing for his win condition here, trying to just save up for
Oh,
that item.
okay.
That's one of his cards.
That's good.
The good
I mean,
game closers.
Helm is already good on board also because there's like Ogre conscripts in every lane. You know, it's
Yeah.
just gonna be great wherever you have it.
These lanes are looking better for Life Coach. If you spring the trap right, all you need to do is win left and right, and you've got some pretty heavy commitment from Dane that's just not going to do much mid.
Mm.
Life Coach could actually be in a decent position after all, but this Assassinate is going to be very scary value if the sniper isn't answered.
You know, obviously, just get initiative. And you, okay, he
Bringing
goes
the
mid.
trap in the mid lane.
Fighting for mid. What do you think about this one?
I don't know. I'm trying to
Yeah.
think. I'm trying to figure it out.
It's hard after just like 7 hours of grinding all day, huh?
Yeah. it's-
He
I
could
mean, it
intimidate
makes
the
sense.
sniper. And if the sniper goes...
Yeah. It makes sense if you can poise the strike and Dane doesn't really have any interaction whatsoever. Like last turn, Dane didn't cast Hand of God. So it's very possible he doesn't have it this turn either.
Mm-hmm.
I'm here to
Still
fight.
didn't cast it.
This arm is just getting better and better.
Yeah.
Yeah. It sucks that his intimidation's in his hand and he can't really use it.
So do you... Yeah, I guess the
I
arm here.
give with
Huge
an
buff
open
on
hand.
6
Mhm.
creeps here. 7.
Both heroes dice though.
Yeah. We're thinking Dane's
That's
probably
fine.
thinking these creeps are just going to push for the kill eventually anyways.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, I
mean,
agree with
And
this play.
if this game keeps getting stalled out, I mean, this lane has real ancient kill potential as well. I mean, this is a lot of damage per turn once all the blockers die.
I don't like this. I would have probably Ghetto TP'd Axe out.
Yeah.
Just let it die and let the creeps finish
Yeah.
this lane.
I agree as well.
Yeah.
Axe ends up dying anyway.
Works out because life coach casts combat.
This is
Trading?
rough though. I'm
Yeah.
not so much of a fan of this spring the trap mid. I feel like this just has a very hard time accomplishing much.
Yeah.
I agree.
There's the assassinate. Takes the bristle down. Not dead, but dies to the ogre's attack.
Alright, so right lane is pretty much closed now because
Yeah.
life coach not gonna have
He needs that helm. He's got that helm. He's got to go right, and he's got to try to steal the conscript, but he also
I mean,
has
he's
to
got nothing
survive
deploying,
one
right?
turn.
Yeah, that's the
Yeah.
problem.
Yeah.
Yeah,
This
that
turn's
lane
gone
is
here.
gonna
Okay.
get destroyed
Yeah.
this turn. And mid lane is probably gone too if there's not some
gonna
god
be god
arrows.
Yeah.
Creep needs to go here or the right arrow. Creep in front of Ogre, but it's
Yeah.
not enough.
Except
Mid lane
for
is going
Cleric
down.
is still lethal, yeah.
I don't even think he's gonna kill this.
If you're a
I
life
think
coach, you
he's-
can intimidate one of your own
Yeah.
heroes. Keep this in mind. Intimidation can be cast on heroes. You got to do it here. You have no
That's true.
choice.
I agree.
Hope it goes to mid.
I agree.
You could put Helm of the Dominator on something first, intimidate it, and then take the Kraken Shell initiative. If
I don't think
you
you
need
really
it.
want
You
it
don't
to
need
be-
initiative.
Yeah, you
Yeah.
really want it to go into mid lane. And then you want to cast Cheating Death there also. That'd
Yeah.
be nice.
Yes.
That's
There are
gotta
no
be
That
heroes
would be
turning
the
mid.
ultimate comeback.
He's got to take
tail.
a 50-50. He has to hope it goes mid with
Yeah.
intimidation.
For
This
sure.
will choose a random other lane. Life coach knows it. He sees this.
Well, you
He
gotta
sees
put
it's
the
his
you gotta
only
put the
option.
hood on it first, right?
The helm?
The helm. Sorry, yeah.
Yeah, I think so.
My
All
enemy.
right, he's
There we
sending the
go.
Farven.
Sending
Sending
Farven.
Farven.
Makes sense because it's the only unblocked hero.
He
And you
steals
want to
this
send a
ogre.
green hero for sure because
If,
want to-
if this Farven goes mid, he could have it. He has got the Cheating Death mid, and he could just defend this 6 health tower.
yeah. So 50-50.
I mean, he could have it in the sense that he will live,
Yes.
but
Yeah.
have it to win the game
I
is
mean,
He can steal
I think
something.
he
yeah.
could win easily. Like these 4 heroes are stranded right. Life coach has the potential to push this left lane.
so he's got
Easily
to.
is
Yeah,
very
here we
strong.
Here it
go.
is.
Mid, mid,
Here
mid,
it
mid, mid,
is.
mid, mid, mid.
Oh,
Yes,
yes.
he did it.
Jesus
Oh,
Christ.
So
no.
he Cheating Deaths protects this lane. He steals back the Ogre conscript at 9 attack, and he can stabilize mid.
Dude,
Yeah.
Do you-
is this happening?
This is hype.
This is
yeah.
Oh,
Oh
fantastic.
shit!
These
Let's
4
look at this.
heroes are completely
Is this
stuck in
gonna
this
work?
lane.
It's
Maybe.
gonna work.
Yeah,
He's
it's a
gonna
good
have to
chance.
start killing. He's gonna have to headshot his own sniper. I think he will have to get these
Dude.
heroes out of this lane somehow.
Dude, please, please make it work. I just want to
This
see
is a
the
dream,
comeback,
yeah.
dude.
Yeah, that would be
I wish we had a
beautiful.
camera on Dane right now. That's
Like, oh,
Are you
no.
serious? Yeah.
What is going on?
okay.
It's
All
gonna be
right.
impossible
That's
for
the
Dane to
ghetto
defend left.
blink dagger, by
Yeah.
the way.
Mhm.
So
Intimidate.
he
This is
steal
great
first, right?
positioning.
No, cheat death first.
Yeah. It doesn't matter. You'll do both of these regardless of what happens. with the
Steal
helm.
one of those creeps.
You
If it
steal
goes-
the 9-3,
the-
You're
right?
hoping it goes in
4-1-4.
front of the one hitting your
Mhm.
tower. Stop that damage
Yeah,
entirely.
I think you gotta take the ogre because Farven is taking care of the
Yeah.
selfless
Mhm.
cleric. At least for a couple turns.
That's true.
Yeah.
But
Nah.
taking the cleric? No.
You
No,
want damage
Yeah.
to their tower, right?
I want the ogre here.
There it is.
All right, gets the ogre.
Oh.
Because ogre is gonna
Unfortunately.
ogre is gonna get the creep and then the next turn
Both
ogre
of
is gonna
life
go
coach's
lethal.
units survive.
Oh my
The cheating
God.
that pays
That's
off.
cheating.
Assassinate.
Oh,
And Dane,
Lord,
Dane here is
no.
panicking. He has to start.
All right, so
I think he assassinates
assassinates
something.
mid, something mid, right? But it might live, right?
Yeah,
You can also gank something.
yeah, you
Mhm.
could.
Kill it.
Gank will kind of kill the sniper for
Yeah.
it if you trade with something. Ganking
Yeah.
the treant does get your sniper dead, which is what you want. You gotta get out of this lane if you're Dane. You're stuck
Yeah,
here
I think that's the
otherwise.
best play. You should gank the treant. Because it dies too, right? And it
Yep.
shuts off green in the left lane.
Oh.
He's
He
just
wants to
gonna
push
kill
for lethal.
tower.
He's got faith in this axe's ability to deal 2 damage to
He's
this.
got
It's
a
all gonna
roar.
come
He
down
has
to
a
this.
he has a roar, so
Mhm.
But
that's
no-
what he's praying
No
for.
initiative in this case.
Yeah, but is there anything that Life
Life
Coach
Coach
has that
has,
could
yeah.
prevent a roar?
He doesn't really have
No.
anything on board, yeah.
Not anything in his deck either.
Oh, he's going for the.
50-50. Cheating death
Yeah.
doesn't
Got
trigger.
Mhm.
I mean, if Dane knows this, I think it makes sense because you really want to do lethal here this turn
Mhm.
with 2 heroes coming in, and if roar is for sure lethal next turn, why not?
It's not for sure though.
That's true. I mean, it's
Well,
gonna free
he's
up
got a
2
creep,
spots.
right? So-
yeah.
This is exactly what Life Coach
True.
was saying about like being able to see the deck's increasing skill ceiling. Like Dane's looking at Life Coach's deck right now and says, you know, there's nothing you really have that deals with roar, even though you have initiative. So I can just play this here and rely on my axe to maybe punch through. He just needs 2 damage.
Basically,
That
life
that
coach needs another creep.
that 50-50 with stealing and where it would go is actually pretty critical.
Axe is off screen over there in the mid lane.
Where's Axe,
Yeah.
guys?
He's, I think,
take
all
a
the way
peek
to the
for you.
Where's
right.
he?
Another creep? Oh, Okay, I think that's game.
Max is right.
I get no.
I mean,
Actually,
Oh, no,
Axe is on
No.
the
He can
far
put it.
right.
He can put a
Yeah.
creep.
No.
He can put a creep.
Cheating Death can
Even
Yeah,
if
but
he-
win this.
only because Axe is on the far right. It only pushes away one creep with
Oh
Roar.
my goodness.
And Life Coach
No.
only has one creep to deploy to block
Yeah.
the lethal damage.
Oh my god.
This game is fantastic.
But the Keenfolk Musket can clear off a blocker. It needs to 50-50. It needs to go through the Cheating Death shield if the Keenfolk Musket.
Oh, the
presses
cheating
lethal.
death.
Yeah, you start with Musket, right?
You're putting
Take your
comes down to.
chance on
Okay.
getting the creep. Probably. Which creep do you?
Oh god.
All right,
So
here
we're
it
gonna have a
is.
There it
50-50.
is.
This is a
deciding this.
50-50.
Yeah.
This is
Yeah.
it. If he kills this creep, the game is over.
Moment of truth.
Oh!
I wonder
Oh,
if the Life
Oh my
Coach
God, I wanna see
passes.
Life Coach right now.
Oh my god.
Oh my lord.
He's gonna. Oh my god.
You go for Roar anyways, right?
You have to
Yeah, you have to
for
go
it.
for. You have to.
There is potentially a consideration.
yeah.
of
He has
Oh,
call.
He has call, yeah.
But
Well,
you
he
have
needs-
to
he
rely on
It's
a
a 50-50 again.
yeah.
It's two 50-50s,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah, it's a
Oh.
25% chance Dane could win if he calls because he needs to kill both of them.
Yeah.
Okay.
Killing one's not going to be enough
Alright.
because he has the Mercenary Exiles to
Yeah.
block.
He's got to kill both.
Mm-hmm.
Mercenaries Exiles can block, so.
This is some exciting shit.
If you're
I've ever
Dane,
seen.
you have to take the roar, and then the
Roars.
Mercenary Exiles comes down,
Okay.
protects
Yeah.
his tower at 2
Mer-
health.
Mercenary Exiles coming down. He
These-
lives.
These
Oh
two
my
creeps,
goodness.
He
Life
lives.
Coach needs them to survive. He needs the Cheating Death to
Yo,
keep
this
these
cheat
alive.
that's gonna. I.
They're both
Oh! No.
Oh my god. It's unbelievable. This is unbelievable.
You have to gank right now. You have to try to kill something through this Cheating Death right now if you're Dane.
Yeah.
Yeah, you gotta get the Sven,
Dude.
I guess.
This
And
could
then
be a
you're
draw-
hoping
this
for a
could be
draw.
This could be a draw,
This
yeah.
could very
Yeah.
easily
Yeah.
be a draw at this point.
Well, he
Well,
can't.
first lane, though.
No, he can't. I don't think that Dane can actually straight up win anymore, right? It's just a draw or.
Yeah, it
Yeah.
looks like
Yeah.
it. Unless there are like God creep spawns
Yeah.
blocking the Sven and something else, and like
Yeah,
Coach
so
doesn't
you
block
gotta-
them.
Time to.
Dane's going for a draw.
This is great.
All
This
right.
is
Oh,
incredible.
he ganks.
He's got to try to kill this creep. 50-50, it gets kept alive by Cheating Death. It
All
dies.
right, he
Nice.
got it.
All right.
But he did target a creep that wasn't directly blocking
Sometimes you
anything.
forget the Cheating Death is 50-50. You know,
Yeah.
once it's triggered like
Nice.
9 times straight to make them survive. Something like those lines. I'm not sure about not casting Assassinate this turn.
He doesn't have
Wait, he
it.
doesn't have it. I thought he had one.
So
Yeah,
what's
it's
the other
one
red
game.
card he has? Can we see Dane's hand?
Yeah, the
Yeah,
Legion
it's
There's
a
a
Berserker's
Legion
Call
Standard
and a
Bearer.
Legion.
So standard bearer.
Okay, there's one creep. There's some arrows.
Life Coach needs to draw creep blockers so he can get through where his
Oof.
Cheating Death
Blocking
fails.
6.
That's a huge block.
Yeah.
Could have been a lot more though.
Dane could still win this off that block.
He's
Oh.
got
That's
one
a great
creep.
draw for Life Coach.
And he's got a Potion of Knowledge.
Draw and then get
Yeah,
initiative.
you should exactly. You should draw and get an initiative here.
Oh,
Wow,
just
I'm surprised about this.
passes.
I guess he already has initiative, but I would
Yeah.
want to see what my card was.
Yeah.
I think.
I mean, what does a Kraken Shell do here?
I guess it
Oh,
makes
the
sense.
helm-
Oh, he has
Helm-
helm.
Helm is up
He has
again.
helm again.
Oh yeah.
So he has to just wait for
He just waits.
the actions, and then he can.
No, wait, he doesn't have lethal yet. He's gotta push for lethal first. I would probably draw a card. I don't think initiative matters that much here. You
Yeah.
want to be the person that plays.
that reacts.
Yeah.
Mhm.
You want to play the last card basically.
Oh
You
my
need this
God.
8 damage. This 8 damage is crucial
Okay.
for Life Coach. You need to 8 damage this tower.
Does that change?
No, I mean,
anything?
not
That's
necessarily.
18 without doing anything.
He doesn't necessarily have to do 8.
Oh, Axe likes this.
The good old equip an item pass.
Yeah, we'll see the cloak come out again.
Maybe, yeah.
Both players passing
Yep.
with their items.
Yep.
Waiting to see what the other
Stalling.
does.
Classic.
Man, this
Alright.
Sven's curve into this
I
creep
mean, he has
is really
2
hurting
calls,
Life
right?
Coach's
Yeah.
So
Do you just pass here, Dane?
oh, he calls once and calls twice, right? Just try and win.
Yeah, but I mean.
Here it
call.
is.
Here it is. Cheating
Oh,
Death
okay,
doesn't
he got
trigger.
both.
Okay.
Okay.
So he definitely has lethal now. So life coach. No, wait.
Helm of
You
the
take
Dominator.
the helm,
Oh, yeah,
you
the
Take
take
the helm
that,
on the creep, and the
and then
Sven.
it gets in, put
The
in.
Sven will go forward.
Yep.
That's why he waited.
Okay.
There's
Steal
still
it.
a second
gonna go in
Steal
front.
it.
second
The
call.
Second call.
Yep.
The call is gonna hit the Sven, but not kill him, right? So.
But if you're
No,
Dane,
no,
you
it's not gonna move in.
yeah, it won't
Oh,
it won't
it
move in
won't?
this Sven. This
No.
creep
Okay.
is just gonna flip forward.
Mhm.
No.
Although the creep could
Or-
actually
yeah, it
flip in
could
front
be
of
in
the
front of-
axe,
yeah.
and then it
Yeah,
did.
Oh,
and then it moves in.
Oh God.
Oh
my God.
Is he gonna? He's gonna
There's
call
still
again.
another-
It's over, right? It's over, right? Because now he has to
A
lose.
Stonehollow Elite
Yeah.
to block him. Yeah.
Yeah, this
Mhm.
is.
If he.
No, wait.
But
No,
we
he
have
can-
the
he
Legion
can
Standard
survive
Bearer
with
that can
Standard
block
Bearer,
this
yeah.
Sven.
Oh yeah. Well, depends if he's
My
gonna.
head hurts, guys.
This is insane. The Standard Bearer has to come down now. Now
I
Dane's
think
playing
both,
on the
I
defensive.
think both
What is-
players are gonna survive another turn.
Yeah, they are.
Wait, wait, wait.
The Standard Bearer will block
If the
it.
Standard Bearer comes down, you have God Strength though, and
But
that
it's
can go
not
onto
enough.
Bristle.
You take
But
away
it's
11
not
enough,
damage.
yeah. You're
You
taking
take
away
away
11
damage.
That's right.
So then you only attack for 14. God strength.
He
Wait,
blocks
And with the
the-
Stonehollow Elite, is that enough
Wait,
though?
why does he block
Wait.
that?
Blocking the
17.
This
Bristle.
doesn't make any sense.
That's
Why did he block that?
that allows the God Strength and the Stonehold to take it.
Yeah. This
Yeah.
Unmatch my
All right.
Oh.
Wait, seriously, why?
There's nothing that Dane
I
can
don't
do.
know. Arrow or no arrow?
Arrow is going to be it. Stonehall has a 25%
25.
chance to curve inwards.
for the
He
glory.
doesn't do it. and
my
Life Coach
God.
takes it.
What?
Uh,
And Life Coach has the dream hand here. Look at
oh
look
my
at this
lord.
turn one hand.
Jesus.
Double Bronze Legion. You can't get a better hand than this.
No, this is pretty absurd. This is the
Guys,
this is the most
I'm still
beautiful comeback
recovering.
I've
No, this
ever
is-
seen.
Yeah.
this is Patriots Falcons Super Bowl.
I understand.
He was behind by a lot, and he came back at the last turn. Amazing.
Yeah, this is something else.
We really thought he lost, dude.
Yeah.
I really thought he lost.
Artifact keeps surprising you. It does.
Does this affect? Say, if you lost a game like that, Yol, does this affect how you're playing game
Yeah,
three?
are you
Are you tilted?
tilted?
Are you
Yeah.
tilted? You lose that game? Because cheat death. I mean, you tilted?
I'm gonna hold my breath on this one. Okay.
Yeah. I mean, you know, I think Dane had obviously a lot of good RNG go his way at the beginning of the
Uh-huh.
game.
Yeah.
So, but you only remember the end.
Yeah.
So
True. I mean, he did make some mistakes that cost him the game. I mean, pretty.
he could have
definite
lived that
mistakes.
turn, right?
Yeah.
If he put the
Yeah.
standard bearer
That
in front
was
of
the
Sven.
most obvious. I mean, the biggest mistake, right? For sure.
I guess he did that to stop the cleave from happening.
But it
onto
doesn't
his
really
axe.
matter.
Yeah.
Yeah. It still has 3 armor. That's 5 damage minus 3 armor. That's 2 extra damage on axe. I don't think that matters.
The axe is chilling though. He took 2 less damage. They lost the game, but the axe is fine.
Yeah,
So
that's important. Gotta keep your axes happy.
yeah,
Yeah.
Yeah.
he's the MVP. So
It's not a bad card. That is for sure.
so even though Life Coach won that last one, he had to pull out all the stops.
All of them.
Everything had to happen his way, and he just barely won.
Yep.
So can he do it this time?
This. There's some good production value right here. That's for sure.
Okay, so both players are just kind of setting up their walls again, as is typical for this mirror. You got some 2 Arm the Rebellion in Dane's hand, but not really great targets for them. You want to hit at very, very, very least 2 creeps when you cast this.
What do you think? Where do you guys think you should put Farven?
It's interesting he's considering double dipping the
Thinking
greens here.
Oh, interesting. Yeah.
think those
I
are
would have
2x
put him
green
in
mid.
the,
So that's interesting.
in the first.
So if you're Life Coach, this is kind of the short-term play.
Sorry, to explain that, why we're surprised by that.
Yeah.
Usually, players want to spread out their heroes, especially when the 2 green heroes are the only 2 green you have. You want to have the ability to cast green spells on multiple lanes, not just in the middle lane.
Exactly. And if you're Life Coach, you can see your hand. You see, okay, I've got no green spells. It's kind of okay to put this in the lane where it's maybe more favorable combat-wise. But at the same time, if these heroes don't die, and if he doesn't
Yeah.
find a TP scroll, you're thinking like 4 turns from now, could be very awkward.
I agree with Sven. I have nothing to add.
That being said, you're very happy about this arrow
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, for sure.
here. Everything's
again.
turning up Millhouse if you're Life Coach.
This
Yeah,
seems
Dane,
familiar. Killing.
Dane's
Japanese
still
guys.
reeling from that last game.
Yeah.
I would have too.
Do you arm here?
You do
That's
have
a good
another
question.
hand.
Do you want to strand these heroes or not?
I think the armor is fine here. You've
Yeah.
got the second one. You're
Kills
not
the
even
Vul,
killing.
though.
It doesn't kill the Vul.
Oh,
It's
it
got
doesn't.
3
Oh,
armor, 1 from
crap.
Farmer.
Yeah. It will kill the tree next turn, so that's why I'm kind of thinking if this is correct play or not.
Yeah. I'm kind of thinking along the same lines. It really goes back to kind of an artifact. Killing heroes isn't always the best thing. Maybe like just leaving them here, ducking out, and just making them stuck.
So the
Which
three,
is kind of nice with this though is that Dane, for a life coach that is that Dane has a hero that's basically a creep, right?
So he casts
Can't cast anything until like turn forever,
Yeah.
like sniper coming in.
So he just buffed. Can we just show what he just did so that
The
people
remote
that-
yes.
blessing onto the
So he
mid lane.
blessinged mid lane from the right lane.
Mhm.
It's a spell that lets you target the other lane.
Yep. Very, very powerful spell, especially in draft.
Yeah.
Very flexible.
So this actually plays very well into life coach cheating death in hand. I feel like Dane is trying to put his sniper in mid and then divine intervention, which seems like a pretty good play. But life coach's cheating death can make that a whole lot more awkward. I feel like.
Yeah, I like it. This left lane, yep,
Ooh.
putting sniper left. So he wants to survive one turn to be able to headshot.
Yeah. It's
Looks like life coach sees it coming. Because you don't deploy Tidehunter here unless you think sniper's going here.
Life coach currently winning the deploy war between the players.
I don't know. What does actually Tide accomplish here?
I'm not entirely sure, but at the same time, I mean, at the very least, you do have to call the sniper going here to consider it.
Does sniper have any other spells that interacts besides gank and okay,
Hip
it does
fire.
have
Hip fire.
Just one hip fire.
Then it kind of makes sense. If he suspects Dane playing hipfire here and taking it over with also sniper killing a creep, and next turn you can headshot, and then 2 turns later you can assassinate, then it makes sense to put Tide here so you
Can
can
you
make
hover
sure
over
you
combat training really
Yeah.
quick?
Yes.
you can make sure you can play red.
So it's a hero, not a unit.
So this Tide's going to have to get buffed either by combat training or a short sword so that it can...
Ooh, that's a nice-
What? An arrow.
So with Rebel Instigator, you want this to hit a creep so that it can do this. What we could see is Dane playing Disciple of Nevermore right in
Has
front
to
of
play
that.
leather armor then too.
I mean, if he plays Disciple, then doesn't the
Yes,
sniper... I guess he has
sniper
to
would
play
die.
his...
yeah, he
leather
has
armor.
leather armor.
yeah.
I mean, letting this Rebel start cloning is not necessarily terrible, but it's not something you want to give up
Yeah,
for free.
Don't mistake this for a red mist pillage.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It is
It's
not
pretty
the
much
not the
same
same
at one
power
time.
level. Yeah.
2 creeps deploy next turn, and
Interesting. Just passes.
Good
Sven
trade
getting
Disciple into Sven.
Nope, gonna
Yeah,
keep
I
sniper
don't know.
alive.
The fools stand
I feel like
united.
it's just trying to headshot that next turn to
this
make
is
it
a
sure
cheap
it
death happening.
dies for a longer turn.
Second Armed Rebellion. These 3
Ooh, these
creeps are
creeps.
All right, here we go.
Time to take out. your
Oh
dice.
God, here we
Okay,
go.
50% on both of these. If the Woolmarter dies, that might actually be in Life Coach's favor
Yeah.
due to its passive or death
That's a
effect.
pretty important short sword, I feel like.
Kills them
Oh,
both.
They both
Die.
died.
So cheat death
The
giveth,
karma cometh.
and cheat death taketh away. That's a,
Yep.
he basically spent his whole turn to do nothing.
Yep.
Ugh.
5 mana. Gone.
Stonehollow
All
Elite
left,
is
and
not
this is exactly what you want if you're Stonehollow. Just an uncontested area to just eat a melee creep, grow up to be a big boy.
Hopefully more melee creeps going there soon too.
So now Life Coach has priority. Does that matter for him trying to... I guess he can buy an item trying to get Sven to survive, like a healing soul.
Yep, it could keep things out of headshot range.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know. I will say
More
this
leather
this
armor.
Stonehollow is a very major threat. The fact that was just able to come down.
Yeah.
Beastmaster's got to go mid, right?
I mean, I guess you're contesting here now, right? So
Yeah.
why not?
Ooh,
3 heroes to the right lane.
very interesting. So if you're Dane, I mean, right lane is kind of where you're maybe the most secure. You got to be thinking about your second lane you're taking, whether it's mid or left. And left into this wall plus the Ravage coming up is going to be very harsh.
Yeah, I don't think you want to go left.
The
You have to
Raze!
You have to sacrifice left.
Ooh. Will we finally see that be able to take down the cheating death?
Yes.
Not with
What,
Beastmaster on the right side.
No, you can't.
Nope, no red hero.
No red hero.
I think this is kind of
This is a
huge.
TP out the Sven, right?
I think this is big because those 3 heroes are almost for sure stuck there now.
Yeah, I completely agree. I mean, this is
They're
this
never gonna die.
it's a bit of an overcommitment. I mean, you've got the arrow curve on the Stonehall into this creep, so it's going to grow even bigger. It's going to be 8-2-6, which is crazy. But I mean,
Yeah.
But you don't know that when you're placing it, right?
yeah,
Right.
well, exactly. I mean, this is it does seem to be just too much of an overcommitment.
Yeah.
Top heavy lane, yeah.
Beastmaster would have been great mid because then you can also like bore, cast Divine Intervention, Then you
Oh,
have a
he just
huge
passes.
board.
He doesn't TP it out. Maybe he's TPing out the Bristleback.
Yeah, I think so for sure.
Yeah, I could see that. I mean, it makes sense to let it die because it's gonna die like eventually,
Yeah.
anyways. I feel like I don't know. Or, I don't know.
Okay, so at this point, 5-2 is no longer a winning score.
Yep. So
That means our boy Savich is out. It means that if Life Coach loses this, he's out.
Yes, and if
Yes.
Dane loses this, he's out. So, I mean, everything is riding on this last game.
Oh, we don't care about Dane. He's not here.
cheering for our boy.
We're cheering for our guy.
That's fair. That's fair.
I mean, I'm sure Dane's good.
Oh, what if you had a Beastmaster? You could play Ogre Conscripts. That would have been
Yeah.
delish. But
he's
I
over
mean,
here.
I am cheering for my boy Life Coach as well. So why not?
I do love this
You
town
know.
portal scroll here. Just trap all these heroes in this lane, just doing nothing.
Yeah, I like it too.
And with that, I think Life Coach might just have it. I mean, if you're Dane at this point, you've got to be scrambling for a way to just get these heroes out of here.
Yep.
And you just
This
don't
is
have them.
Bristleback leaving.
Yeah, I don't think you need to play anything here. This is just kind of the dead lane for Life Coach.
Is there a chance you play the Mercenary Exile in front of the Stone
Stone Hollow.
Hollow?
That's what I was thinking.
And
Because you
use all
could
the
kill
gold?
it and, yeah, slow it down.
You can slow down the Ancient Clock by a lot by doing
That's
that.
true.
Yeah.
Yeah, and you're
But
not
he
really
might
using
need
this
that
mana.
for a different lane to actually push through, right?
But I don't think that
It's just going to TP.
Dane can't really go to any other lane as
I
is.
mean, at this point, the Ancient Kill is Dane's win condition. Because
the only
Dane's
thing he can
locked
do,
into
right?
this lane. Yes.
Yeah,
100%.
Yeah, this really hurts
Wow,
that he can't
yeah.
kill it.
Mhm.
That makes his
Makes it
chances
into,
a lot harder.
Yeah, and then again.
Turn 3 clock, right?
Yep, turn
Mhm.
3 clock. So that's the 10 mana turn. Dane will smash the Ancient on the right side if Life Coach does nothing about it. The fight lane at this time is mid. Life Coach needs to push that second tower.
And he's putting both his heroes there.
There's a very squishy Treant on Dane's side.
Yep, and this cheating death is uncontested. The raise is disabled. Both of Dane's red heroes are on the right lane.
Mm-hmm.
You can ravage this creep.
Taste it.
Yeah. Yeah. The biggest flex ever is ravaging here.
Yeah.
It's Primal Roar.
Roars
if the
can't be
roars-
used. Berserker's Call can't be used. Raise can't be used. It's
Yeah. I mean, there's
that
just,
deploy.
There's
Th-
nothing.
Send
can't-
the Treant to the
yeah.
last lane.
This is what
You can't use this
Yeah.
on
I
your
think
own heroes.
this game will underscore. I mean, both of these players are obviously very good at this game,
Yes.
but it just shows how one deployment mistake
That's
can really
everything, yeah.
change the entire game.
Yep.
Yeah.
If he just deployed that Beastmaster mid, I think
It'd be
the
a very
entire
contested
game is
lane.
different.
I
Yeah,
can- yeah,
I think he
completely
wins.
Agree.
Mhm.
I do think he's favored if he does that.
So how does Dane ever come back? He Divine Interventions, puts Sniper in the first lane, hopes for Assassinate, and
He tries
hopefully
to do
draws
80,
a
yeah.
big green creep, I guess.
Stone
to survive.
stonewalling mid hard. Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, the good news for him is he's got these big buff creeps. He's got one on the left that can divine intervention.
Divine
He can hold.
intervention,
You
yeah.
know.
Yeah. And then I guess you draw a card. I assume.
Yeah, you got to draw a
Probably
card here
heal
if
up
you're Dane. Finding into that
Treant
Vul
also.
Martyr would be really good off of this draw.
Keep me safe, friend.
Yeah, I would. Yeah, I agree.
That would be a huge draw.
You also want to get it. Find your Assassinate.
Okay.
Yeah, you've got to.
Life Coach just dropping creeps to try to get
Life
some
Coach
damage
just
in.
tries to get the damage on this tower.
Yeah.
He's got one
Yeah,
more
he's on a
turn
rush.
probably.
He's on a rush.
Yeah, I mean, you pump this +1/+1, right?
He gets
Could make a
another
difference.
bad arrow. He's in trouble too. He needs
Sure.
that Farvin to hit the tower.
I love Fountain Flasking this group.
Yeah.
So just make sure if there's more creep spawns here, they will also be attacking the tower next turn.
Okay,
We'll
so
win this
Dane is
war
just trying to rush
together,
this
old
tower
friend.
down.
You
This
drop the
is-
bear here. This is a question because
Initiative could matter.
yeah, it's not just that. It's you might need.
He's
Yeah,
going
I
to do it,
guess.
yeah.
I think this is fine.
And Dane is just locked out of his entire hand. These Primal Roars are doing nothing.
This is the saddest Shen activated ability I've ever seen.
Chen just like I want to steal creep.
Oh,
Where
that
are the
town
creeps?
portal is huge.
Yeah, that is
That
actually
is-
gigantic.
Yep. Okay. Didn't we just say there
He
was
has-
too many heroes over there?
He has Disciple of Never.
He
He's
is
going. He's
Disciple.
going for the 80
Oh,
this
nice.
turn.
That's
Does
true.
could he do that? Does he have the damage?
Someone do the math for us real quick.
I don't. It can't be there even with the Disciple, right?
What
Oh,
about
the mist as well?
with the
No, it's
mist?
lethal for sure. It's lethal for sure
Oh
now.
my gosh.
45.
Oh lord.
He's
Is
gonna do it.
there-
Yeah, it's over, right?
Yeah.
I can't see any
There's-
way out of this.
Yeah, Life Coach can't prevent him
Although
from
I've
playing
said
the
it
Mist.
many times during these games, so I don't know.
He's got 7 units. The Disciple represents 18 total damage. The Mist of Avernus represents only 7. No, it's 8 units. I don't.
You can drop
is it still
Roseleaf.
enough? You can
Uh,
drop
Yo,
Roseleaf on
Roseleaf.
top. The Mist of Avernus
That's
does a total of
22.
8.
Yep.
8.
53.
And
He's
then,
going. He's
Math.
going for it.
He's going for it though. Yeah.
then Roseleaf is another 4, right?
Yeah.
With the Nevermore.
with the Nevermore.
So how many Crisp Readers? 7? And Nevermore is gonna be...
He's got the short sword for +2.
Did he do the math to be exactly right?
Got
Yeah.
+8 for 53.
No, the standard bearer too.
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
that's an extra 4.
I think he's got
So,
this.
Yeah.
Oh
it
my
seems like it.
goodness.
I think he does. He's going for the 80.
Nah, I think he's fine.
We're gonna see the math.
Are you guys good at math? You good at math? Yo, does he
Not
have
at this
enough?
time of day.
It's immediately
I haven't counted,
53
dude.
off of the
I'm-
Mist. The Disciple is buffing 8 units with its body, which is going to be 22 on top of that 53. And the Roseleaf plus the Legion Standard Bearer will get it there. It is enough.
Yeah.
Okay.
It's over by like 5 or so, I think.
Oh my
Okay.
goodness.
Jesus.
That is
Combo
actually.
plays.
It actually worked out.
When he put the sniper there, we were all like, whatever.
If he didn't draw the Mist,
The mist though. The mist is
Such an
crucial.
idiot.
no,
Drew
he
the
would have
Mist.
had enough if he didn't
Drew
draw
the
the
Mist.
Mist.
Is it not? Is it not enough without the mist?
I don't think it is. It's very, very close. I think it's like a couple points short. We'll see.
Yeah.
Because the Mist is representing +8.
He could have drew a lot though. He could have drew another creep. He could have drew.
Yeah. That's true.
Also, if
Or
your
a creep-
opponent gets a creep, you can
Yeah.
shun it, right?
But
Yeah.
when he went to the deployment, he saw there were no creeps. Disciple here, and that's huge.
Oh
Yeah, that's 80
my
already. That's 80
gosh.
already. Yeah, there you go.
Perfect.
Oh, poor life
Beautiful.
coach.
Oh.
Oh
It was
my
all that
God,
mist.
80.
If he didn't draw the Mist, he does
Yeah.
not have